So today let's talk about waiting list. So on your race dashboard, you can go to the menu search and type in waiting list, and then go to the waitlist setup. And the first thing you're going to need to do if you want to set up a waiting list is set up some participant caps. Which brings us to why you would set up a waiting list in the first place, which is you would have a limit on the number of people in your race. So let's say we have this 10K here, and we have 1,000 people that we can accommodate. Maybe for safety reasons, we can't go much higher than this. Maybe it's just an exclusive race. For whatever reason, we're capping off the 10K at 1,000 registrants. So we'll save that. And now we can search again for the waiting list and go to the setup. So now that we have a cap set on the 10K, you can see that the waiting list or lottery is able to be enabled. None of the other events here are eligible for a waiting list yet because I don't have a cap on them. So any amount of people can register for these events. They don't have to wait. But for the 10K, I have the cap. So I can set up a waiting list. So I'll just enable it here. And we've got two different types of waiting lists that you could pick from. We've got first come, first serve. And what this is going to do is whoever signs up for the waiting list first, they're going to be picked first. Whoever signs up second, they're going to be picked second. Third, fourth. It's all done in order, first come, first serve. Now, if we did a lottery, then people would sign up for the lottery and they'd be assigned a number when they signed up, and then they'd be sorted on the waiting list by that number. Now, the person signing up would not know what their lottery number was. That's all just done behind the scenes. It would just be randomly assigned, and they wouldn't know they got picked unless they got the email to say they got picked off the waiting list. Let's start with first come, first serve because that's the most common use I see. Now, today is November 7th, so we'll have the waiting list open today, but that doesn't mean the waiting list is actually going to be open today. Because as you can see here, I only have 4 participants in my race so far, so I'm only 0.4% full. So if I got my other 996 runners today, then yeah, the waiting list could open as early as today. And let's see here, my race date is May 22nd, 2026. So I'm just going to make the waiting list closing date the same day. So this is the last date when people can sign up for the waiting list. Now the maximum registrants per user, that's the maximum amount of registrants that a single user can have on the waiting list. So when I sign up, I can sign up to 10 people if this is set to 10. And then we go down to the selection settings. So the user selection start date is when people can start being taken off the waiting list. So let's say I do get 1,000 registrants today. The waiting list will open up then, and maybe 50 people sign up for the waiting list. Now, if 2 people of the 1,000 participants dropped out of the race, maybe they had to cancel for some reason, then if this date is set to today, and the time has passed already, then 2 people can be taken off the waiting list because selection would have started today at 12 a.m. But if I put this to the 10th, then even if 40 spots opened up today, like 40 people of the 1,000 registrants that I have dropped out of the race for various reasons, I'd still have 50 people sitting on the waiting list until the 10th. And then on the 10th, that's when selection starts. Since I'm doing a first come, first serve waiting list, I'm just going to put this as today's date. Because basically what I want to do with my waiting list is make sure I keep this cap of 1,000. So if anyone drops out, I want people signing up as fast as possible. So I'm not going to make them wait till the 10th. They can sign up as soon as someone drops out. Now, if I was doing a lottery, then what I might do is have the waiting list open today and then have it remain open until, let's say, the 14th of this year. And then I'll have selection begin on the 15th. And in this situation, I would click this activate waiting list now. Because with the lottery, what I'd be doing is having people sign up for the lottery. They get their number. They have a week to join that list. And then on the 15th, that's when people start being picked from the list. So if you have a 1,000 person cap and you want to make your registration for that event based on the lottery, then that's how you'd set that up. But we're going to go back to first come, first serve. We'll just push that date back to May 22nd. And have selection begin today if we happen to get our 1,000 people and people signing up for the waiting list. Now, once selection begins and people drop out from the 1,000 who got us to the waiting list opening in the first place, then whoever is first on the waiting list is going to get an email that says, hey, you can sign up now because that opening in the 1,000 is now available. So what the registration deadline is you could set how long that person has to sign up for your race. 2 days is our default, but you can go with 12 hours, 1 day, 3 days, 1 week, 2 weeks. That's your choice. Once the deadline has passed, then their selection will expire and the next person on the waiting list will be picked, and then they will have 2 days to sign up. Oh, and I forgot to uncheck this activate waiting list here. I had that checked when I did the lottery, but for first come, first serve, the way I'm setting it up here, you don't want this checked off. Not before you reach your cap at least. So make sure that's unchecked, and then you can save that. And now your waiting list has been set up. If you go to the race page, you're not going to see anything different here because people could still sign up for your race. Remember, I only have 4 people of the 1,000, so I've got a way to go for that waiting list to turn on. But let's change my cap just so you can see what happens here. Let's say that my cap is 4 people. So now I'm 100% full. And on the race page, you'll see the 10K go from sign up to waiting list. Tells them the event is full, join the waiting list, and they can click there to join the waiting list. Now at this point, this activate waiting list now is still unchecked. That's because I still don't have anyone on the waiting list, even though the waiting list is open. But if I have someone sign up for the waiting list, I'll sign up for 2 registrants and join the waiting list. Now I come back here, refresh the page, and you're going to see activate waiting list is turned on. So earlier I was saying don't check this box. Now I'm going to be saying don't uncheck this box. We have a warning message here that advises against unchecking it. If you uncheck it, you're going to get a warning again. So we'll leave that checked. I'll explain a little more about why you wouldn't want to do that in a minute. But let's go up here to the additional slots to open. Usually this is set at 0 because if you have 1,000 people in your race and you just want to keep it at 1,000, then if somebody drops out, then someone's pulled off the waiting list. If 2 people drop out, 2 people are pulled off the waiting list. So the way this is set up, you just keep your race at 1,000 people, and if anyone drops out, then people can come off the waiting list and they can sign up to get you back to 1,000. But let's say no one's dropping out and you have a bunch of people on the waiting list, and you find out, okay, we can actually accommodate up to 1,010 people. What you could do in that case is just put a 10 here as additional slots to open. Save that. And now 10 people can be pulled off the waiting list to sign up. So if we go here and we view our waiting list, then you can see I signed up for 2 people. My status is active. I haven't been selected yet because it doesn't immediately select me. But if I want, I can click edit here and change the status if I want, or change the selected to yes. But I'm just going to wait, refresh the page. Now we've come full circle. Now I'm the one waiting. And refresh the page. And there we go. I've been selected. And you'll see this resend button is now available to me. If this person says they can't find their email, you could just go over here and resend it to them. So here's my selection email. It says you have been selected from the waiting list for the run around Sioux Falls. I have until this date and time to register. And I can use the link here to register or just click the button here. So that's how that all works. Now let's get back to this box and why you don't want to uncheck it right now. So let's pretend that I didn't have these additional slots. And the reason I got off the waiting list is because the cap was 6 people. And the race had 6 people in it, but then 2 people dropped out. So now we're at 4 participants. There's 2 more spots open. I get the email to say I've been selected and I have until the 9th to sign up. So as a registrant, maybe I'm thinking, all right, today I'm busy, but I'm going to do it on the 8th. I'm going to sign up tomorrow. That'll be fine. But if the race director goes to the waiting list setup and unchecks this box here and then saves, then before on the race page, we had this waiting list button. But if we refresh, it's now a sign up button again. Because as the race director, I just deactivated the waiting list. And now anyone can sign up because there are 2 spots left. So if someone goes in there and signs up today, they could sign up 2 people. And then if tomorrow I come back as a registrant and use my link here, I'm not going to be able to sign up because the race will be full. And then as the race director who unchecked this setting, I'd probably get some unhappy emails from people on the waiting list who just lost their spots in the race. So yeah, if you're using first come first serve, just never touch this. It'll check itself off when it's ready, and then you can just leave it. If you're doing the lottery, then yeah, you could turn that on to begin with, but after that, just leave it checked off. And that is how to set up a waitlist. If you found this video helpful, please like it and subscribe to the channel because we have videos Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. And if you have any topics that you want us to talk about in a future video, you can let us know in the comments below the video.